Welcome, guys. Welcome to another StoryChief webinar. There were a lot of webinars lately, the last couple of weeks. We had a great, by the way, we had a great session with an agency owner last week. We just posted it on our YouTube channel. The whole thing. It's about like 40 minutes conversation with a guy who does agency business for 30 years already, working for huge companies, and I think it's a cool talk we had. We will have more of these kind of talks, like inviting other people to speak as well. So it should be pretty interesting. Anyways, so welcome to today's webinar, and today what we are going to discuss about, it will be a short webinar, and it was like a bit unplanned, unexpected thing that we thought, oh, let's do it anyway. And today we'll be discussing our inbound flow, and it will not be about StoryChief or anything. It's just some cool tips and tricks to help you, automate a few things that you would do manually. And I'll just share my screen for a second. I have here my tab open, and what you see here is our Facebook group. Grow through content. So we invite our users in there, and we post a lot of info that we don't post elsewhere. And probably you came from that group to this webinar. So here I post on 28th of May. I did this graph on how our inbound process works here, and how can you automate parts of this? How can you, improve your lead gen? And a lot of people were curious, and I had a lot of replies and private messages as well to like, oh, can you show it to us? Can you explain it? Because it's still like in low res image here, but I can definitely explain it today. Right now, we are going to dive into the process and how we are applying this flow and what tools we use and how that works and stuff like that. The whole reason why we've built that is we have a lot of inbound leads, obviously, coming in every month. And after a while, we started to be more selective in people that we would follow up with. And also we would, have a lot of time doing everything manually. So that's why we kind of mapped everything, the whole process, and tried to, started to figure out how can we automate a few steps so we can save more time and focus on leads that have more value for us. And this is what I'm going to explain. Important thing to notice here. So this is if you look at the funnel, this is like mid to the bottom of the funnel. So everything regarding generating traffic, generating those leads on the website, this is like the part we'll not cover in this webinar. Like these are other conversations. This is why StoryChief is being used. It's actually to build that traffic. But today we are going to talk about how to what to do with that traffic, how to convert more leads. And actually this process helped us to double our revenue even during the pandemic times. This was crazy. Actually, we grew like 40% month over month just by, applying some of these tactics. Important thing to know also, and this is a key, this was a key for us, the following up your leads is it's more important than you think. And before in the beginning, we thought we will be a totally product-led company. Of course, you can do that, but especially in the beginning, especially in the start, you need to follow up with every sign up to do. And the sooner you do so, the more your conversion rate will go up. Try to follow up with every lead, qualify them, but don't, of course, do demo with them, with everyone, but only with qualified leads. So this is what I'm going to show you guys. So before I dive in, I'm going to share this graph as a separate window here. Voila. Normally you should see my window right now. And oh, Sam, can you confirm if you see everything? Yeah, okay, awesome. So let's start. This seems like super hard and complicated, but actually you will see that it is super simple. It all starts with a traffic source here. And traffic source can be anything. It can be, you know, a blog post, an ad, referral, an affiliate link, whatever. Someone came to your website from somewhere. Doesn't matter for now from where they came. So they came on your website or a certain landing page, doesn't matter. And basically, three things can happen. They can sign up for your trial or your freemium or whatever. They can book a demo with you or book a call with you, whatever, or they can just go away, bounce. So by the way, this funnel, it can apply to anything. It's not only SaaS, like we are SaaS product, right? But it can also apply to service, to an agency business, to whatever. The only condition here is that your leads are coming from your website. This is the only condition. Like it's not outbound funnel. It's really like inbound funnel. Someone came to your website and someone wants to talk with you or try your software or your service, whatever. So imagine someone bounces, it goes away. And depending on which page he spent time on and went away, he would get retargeting ads. Like we are getting a lot of people going to a registration page, but they don't fill in the info and they leave. They would get retargeting ads from us on Facebook, also like Google ads, whatever. But like remarketing, retargeting, super important, because you want to drive this traffic back as much as you can, back to your website, back on top of your funnel. And you can, you know, optimize these ads based on the, you know, how long did they spend on my certain page, what pages did they visit, and if there was an agency, like they were visiting an agency page, they would get testimonial from another agency to see and stuff like that. So this stuff, super important. Try to get them back. Or they have like, you know, an option to start a trial or book a demo or both, doesn't really matter. So what happens if someone does a sign up, in our case? If someone starts a new account, there are a lot of things are being triggered. First, we use this CRM called Pipedrive. It can be Salesforce, it can be Salesforce, whatever CRM you're using. Every time someone would sign up, account would be created, so we know his or her phone number, their business, the pain that they want to solve, because we like ask these questions. Also the country, you know, stuff like that. So based on that info, we have an integration between our tool and Pipedrive CRM or any other CRM. So what happens is two things here. First, a deal is created in our Pipedrive CRM, like a deal with all the information, and it's in the deal stage, new customer. Also, what happens, we get a Slack notification in a dedicated channel, like, okay, new sign up, phone number, email address, name, whatever, it's an agency or it's a B2B business or so on. First thing that happens is our SDR team will call you up within 5 minutes after sign up, within 5 minutes, that's their target. That's like gold mark. You need to call them within 5 minutes while they are still using your tool, while they have time to do so. You call them up, you say, hey, welcome to our product, whatever, I would like to personally welcome you, what are you looking for, stuff like that. So here, the goal of the SDR person is to qualify your lead. And he will first like be not so pushy, but like really welcome. And then the goal would be to get a demo, to book a demo with a real salesperson, like with an account executive. Sometimes during the call, it will appear that the deal size is way too small to do a demo with. Maybe it's a student, maybe it's a small one-person seat, and you know, there's just too much work to actually do a demo with that person. We call it solopreneur. If that's a solopreneur, the SDR person would drive him towards a webinar. We do a weekly webinar as well, like every week. And then we have a bunch of solopreneurs attending and show them the benefits in group. This is a great way. What I also saw some other SaaS businesses do or product businesses do, they would actually show them pre-recorded demos. Like, I'm not a big fan of that. I love, you know, live interactions. But this is sometimes what happens. So if it's a solopreneur, our SDR would tag them, and through Zapier, they will be triggered and put into a MailChimp segment. And there's a sequence of emails that go out. The first email would be invitation to the webinar. Second email would be invitation to our affiliate program. Then we have some value mails, like blogs, webinars, whatever stuff, like really helping and giving value to these people. And then what can happen is that this person would maybe can buy the tool himself. He can go away, like say, oh, I don't care. Or he can say like, okay, I'm still waiting, like I'll do it in a couple of weeks and so on. Imagine our SDR did a call and it's like, okay, that person qualifies to do a demo. It's a big team, the deal size is big enough to spend time on it. And then he books a demo in an agenda of one of our salespeople. And they have access to his agenda, they see the free spots and so on. Our salesperson would do a demo through some tool, doesn't matter, Zoom, whereby like Fictera, there are a lot of different tools. And after that, right after the demo happens, you should always directly send a proposal. And this is actually a super crucial step because we did a mistake here that our proposal was not direct enough. Like in the beginning, we were sending this huge mails to our after demo, explaining the features and blah, blah, blah. No one cares. They want to see like, okay, they see the value. Like the whole demo conversation is also a different topic, like how you do demo. It's not about the features, it's about the value, it's about closing, about being, sometimes a bit pushy. But you want to do a proposal, very short mail, 2 lines, not more, about the pricing. Like you've already discussed features here. Don't talk about the features in your proposal. Discuss pricing, like a real sales proposition is here. Then a couple of things can happen after a demo. It can be that it's directly sold. The person says, oh, okay, cool. Let's sign it. Let's buy it. I want to do it. Or you can say, oh, I need to think about it. I want to talk with someone else, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So what we do is we would follow up after 7 days with a phone call, not with an email, with a phone call after 7 days. If they still need to think and wait, we would follow up after 5 days with an email or LinkedIn message, whatever. Try to, use different channels. And then after 2 days, we would call or follow up to like a final call, like, okay, we saw the demo, had the time to discuss, is it, yay or nay, like we call it. And they can say, yeah, sure, let's buy it. You have to make it short, to the point, and direct. Super important. And they can say, oh no, not for us, too expensive, whatever. Like if it's a price issue, it's never an issue. You can give them discounts or whatever. If it's a decision-making process, you can influence that. Or they can say, oh, I love it, but it's like not urgent, whatever. Then your tool doesn't give enough value, or you didn't sell it enough to create that sense of urgency. Sure, it can happen, happens all the time. We call it on hold stage. And what happens during them, or they say, okay, in December, imagine it's a bigger company, they say in December, we are budgeting for the new year. So come back in December, and today it's August, let's say. So there are a lot of months in between. And if they're on stage on hold, the longer they don't hear from you, the colder they get. So what you like to do is to add them to a separate, we call it nurture list in MailChimp or other tool. And they would get like all the updates regularly, a lot of value-based blogs and articles through mail. There's like a whole drip campaign they would get, like just to remind that we are there, just to let them know we are there, and then follow up after a couple of months, Very, very important. If it's a lost deal, what we do is often we would put them in, like they would say, show a reason for loss, and there would be some kind of reactivation campaign, like show them retargeting ads again. Sometimes send them some, you can, send them anything until they unsubscribe because you have nothing to lose. After it's sold, the whole new process starts. And this is also super crucial. It's called retention. Like after a deal is sold, you want to, if your product is complex, you want to have a customer success team. You want to do an onboarding with them, make sure everything is connected, integrations are working great, that they have a nice experience. If it's a big customer, you do a one-on-one onboarding, or if it's a group, like you can do a webinar in a group of people. And then retention campaign starts, like there are follow-ups in a couple of weeks. Like we have also health scores of our users. Like if someone would not log in for a couple of days, it could be like, would get code orange, or if someone doesn't publish with StoryChief for a while, it would get another code. And then our CS team holds like risk meetings. They come with a list of email addresses and people, like, okay, and they say, if we don't do anything in 2-3 months from now, these people will churn. So it's very important to have this process in place. But the goal of the retention process is like, okay, there can be a churn. A churn campaign would start. Like there is, and the goal would be to bring them back on top of the funnel. But the goal of the retention process is to upsell, sell more seats, sell more this or that, whatever. There are a lot of upsell possibilities. To make them talk about you, like refer someone else, or leave a review. Very important. We use Capterra right now. I think now we'll also focus on G2. We didn't do anything with the G2 for now. I think it's also a great platform. So this is kind of the flow. A lot of things can happen here. So imagine this person after a sign up. So, and everything, every step, every conversation, all these things are integrated with our CRM. So if I would right now go into our CRM and open a certain deal, I will see every touch point of every person that talked with that customer. I will see the whole deal flow. I will see the sales cycle. I will see everything. Super important. It's a semi-automatically tracking stuff, but also you want to track everything in order to gain as much info as possible about your lead. So imagine like, so someone signed up or wanted to book a demo, you called them up, and this is what happened. I just like the things I've told you. Another thing that can happen, there's DR calls within 5 minutes, but the person doesn't pick up. Another thing that can happen, it was a weekend, so it's already too late to call, or they call it, they're already like not available, whatever. Or we have a lot of deals coming from another different time zone. And so what happens then? Then we know who that lead is. We know that if it's an agency, we know if it's like, B2B, B2C, whatever, some criteria. And our SDR would move that lead in a different deal stage based on who they are. And that will trigger a Zapier push to start a drip campaign. We use reply.io for this, but there are tons of different tools. Again, for that, it doesn't really matter what tools you use, what tool you use. And we didn't even do the comparison. We just took the first thing we saw on LinkedIn, to be honest. So it was by accident. Reply seems to be working great. So we are working with that. And so a drip will start. And this drip campaign, email drip campaign, will be very short, 1 or 2 sentences again. And the goal of this drip campaign is to book a qualification call, not a demo, but a qualification call with an SDR, because he couldn't reach. And in that way, we can really like see if there are leads that really want to talk with us, they will book this call. If they are like, I don't care, they will also not call you back. So it also will, also filter the bad leads out of the good leads. And how we do that, we have obviously SDR team of multiple people, and we have created a round-robin Calendly link. So it's a tool called Calendly, and there you can, heard some strange sound here. I don't know. So with Calendly, people can book. They can see your agenda or your free slots, and they can like book a call or a demo, or whatever. And a round-robin event allows you to bring in multiple SDR salespeople into one account, and people can book for example, a time slot, if 2 of SDRs are busy and third one is free on the time slot, it will go to his agenda. Or if all 3 are booked, it will be blocked, you know, this kind of stuff. And also it will randomly and evenly distribute the amount of leads your SDRs are getting. So an email, first email will go like, hey, I tried to reach you, or you know, we saw that you started your account, we couldn't reach you for some reason, whatever. I would like to, you know, learn who you are and talk about your needs, whatever. Imagine there's no reply. There would be out of follow-up after 2 days. It can lead to a qualification call, or it can lead to nothing. After, again, 2 days, another follow-up, and then we do a final follow-up, like, okay, you want to talk with us or not, and then we leave you alone. And it can lead to a qualification call and go into one of these flows, or it can lead to nothing, and then we would retarget them with ads for a while and then leave them alone. Another thing that happens, of course, every lead that is signed up will get to our main newsletter list, so we can grow our newsletter list. And what also happens, there's an onboarding drip going out. We use Intercom for now. It's now getting super, super expensive, by the way. I think we'll move to another tool because there are tons of users and, you know, but in Intercom or a similar tool, you can create onboarding drips as well. Like, and this email campaign is different than this one or another one. So these emails that I've talked about are more about value, you know, book a call, book a demo, whatever, like more sales kind of things. While this drip campaign is all about onboarding. Okay, now it's time to add users. This is how this feature works and that feature works, you know, helping them. But within that email, we also want people to trigger to join our Facebook group. Like, we have this Facebook group, growth through content. This is how you probably get here to this webinar. Join that. We share a lot of great content in there that's we don't share elsewhere. So this is like the goal of this onboarding campaign, but also to make sure people are going further in the tool and can also buy it themselves, you know, or be lost or stay on hold. Like, this is what we are doing. Another thing, last flow here is to, you know, I've tested that and it worked quite well. We use this Phantom Buster thing, I think phantombuster.com, where you can create some cool things. So what happens here, it's on pause now, to be honest, because I really didn't have time to follow up, but I will restart it again. So actually what happens if someone would sign up, they would get an automatic invite on LinkedIn from me personally with a message. And how we build that in Phantom Buster, you have this, like, you can send, so we would send data like name to a spreadsheet. A Phantom Buster would find a LinkedIn URL for this and put it automatically next to it. And then the second Phantom Buster, like, I don't know how it's called, another script, it would, you know, click on the link and create an invitation and put a personal message in there, like very short. Hey, welcome to our StoryChief family. How did you, you know, find us? And they can already start a conversation. And the goal is also to lead them to a qualification call or, you know, to a demo or whatever. This was working quite well. I think the accuracy of Phantom Buster was about 60%. Like 60% of those people were like, it was correct link, correct URL, but 40% were like wrong people. Because someone, like, there are a lot of double names there, and then Phantom Buster would randomly pick someone out of 100, or they would be not complete or whatever. And sometimes, and still it's okay, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, cool! I didn't know you exist. I don't know who you are, why you're writing me, but oh, it's cool. I mean, and what do you do?" And then you can also, like, you know, learn, even get to know new people. It was cool. So in short, I think a lot of these things are automated. So the advantage is we have tons of leads that we still couldn't call. I think about 20K or something. So right now there's a whole just email drip campaign running towards them, and that's cool because you know, then we can really filter the important ones, really people who want to start a conversation with us. So yeah, learnings here, follow up with everyone, try to qualify as many people as possible, be personal. Although there are like some things that are automated, that's fine. But at the end, if they reply or they start a conversation, like these automation things, they are meant to start a conversation, like to get there to them. And once you get to them, then you have to be a real person, really talk with them. And I think our mistake in the beginning that we didn't follow up with our signups enough, and that we were not close enough to them, because like if we don't do anything, like if people come in and it's like to our website and we'll let them be, like if they come to a tool and we'll let them be, the conversion rate from freemium to paid account would be between 2 and 4%. While if we follow up and apply this flow, the conversion rate went up from, I don't know, 3 to 4%. It went up to 10, 15%, like 50%, 15% of all the leads we can actually convert. That's a huge difference just because you get there. And don't be afraid to call them, because it's not cold calling. They know who you are and they really love you call them, because they're like, oh, I came in and I can just figure out, it seems like a very cool tool. Thank you for calling. Thanks for helping me. They want to be helped. And your goal is not to, of course, your ultimate goal for your salespeople is to do a sale, but it's to help. It's actually to help your leads succeed at what they do. And if you help them, they will really appreciate that. And if you help your people, your leads, they will trust you. And that's the way. You have to be an advisor. You have to be a sales expert, an expert in your domain, in the solution they are looking for. And if you help them, you have to go out there and help them. That's basically what it's all about. All right, I will stop sharing right now. This is like super like in-depth info of how we deal with our inbound leads. Happy to learn about what you guys do and how you do your own process. And if that was helpful, what I just showed you, we are always improving. Like this is process we have been using for a while already, but now we're also improving it all the time, making it better, removing things, adding things. So it's an ongoing thing. It's like always ongoing. There are new tools, new possibilities coming up. So we have to kind of, but this is the idea. You get the idea, basically, I think. All right, thanks. I'm having some questions here. I love the way this glows. What program did you use to create this flowchart? Yeah. Is this a template that you can share where we just fill in the blanks for our own process? Great questions, a bit off topic, but yeah, I just do it manually. I basically use Sketch and I just draw it. It's stupid, I know, but there are a lot of cool tools like Lucidchart. I think I just heard it talk about Lucidchart, like brain, how it's called, mind mapping apps, stuff like that you can use for this, definitely, where you can build your own stuff. I think Lucidchart is very cool. But this one in particular, I just did myself, like manually. A lot of work, I know, stupid. I'm talking about automation, but I'm doing everything manually. That doesn't make sense, but this is who I am. Now I know, Eric is writing, awesome, thank you for sharing this with us. Now I know why I received a call from Belgium. Yeah, that's something we need to work on. I mean, it also helps when you have a local number. Like if you would call to US, they don't pick up because we're from Belgium and we have this Belgian number. So we are using actual US number now to call US, and then we see that people actually pick up because of that. Also important to see. So yeah, I think we are done here, and thanks for attending the webinar. Feel free to forward the mail to your colleagues, to your people. Join our Facebook group. Go with us. Use StoryChief, and yeah, good luck. Stay safe. Cheers.